Hey, what's up, guys? Rant Roller back at you guys again. This is going to be a football subject, guys. Of course, by the caption and the thumbnail, you're going to see that when you get to it. But yeah, this video is going to be a little bit controversial. I want to first apologize for the lighting. I'm recording on my laptop, and it's not the best laptop, but I bought it for the purposes of doing YouTube. It was a lesson learned. I'll get another one with a better camera and a GoPro and all that in the very near future. But I'm sure you didn't tune into this video to see my pretty face. All right? So let's get to the topic at hand. It's going to be a little bit controversial, but the topic at hand today is the quarterback position, the most overrated position in professional sports. And I'm going to tell you why. All right? I played quarterback in high school. All right, so this is coming from some firsthand knowledge. I wasn't a professional, but if you went through them two-a-days down in Virginia, you would think you was a professional. Okay, we train like professionals. All right, the playbook was professional down there, thick. You know what I mean? Thick playbook, mostly running plays because I went to high school in the '90s, and the pro-style offenses hadn't made its way to high school at that point. Which leads me to the topic of this video. The quarterback position is the most overrated position in sports. I'm going to tell you why. Professional football, okay, and I'm talking about American football, not soccer. For those that, may be foreign or international, I'm talking about American football, the pigskin, all right? The quarterback position is the most overrated in sports. Why? Because football is a truly team sport. Truly team sport. What I mean by that is you need all 11 guys on the same page. Even to have one successful play, you need everybody on the same page. Everybody blocking, everybody reading the defense. Same way as the quarterback. These announcers act like the quarterback is the only position on offense that has to read the defense. Okay, the linemen have to read how the defense. They have to read how, if they think it's going to be a blitz or zone, who they have to pick up in protection. Okay, the running back has to be able to read the blitz if his assignment is to pick up the free blitzer. Okay, if he's in the backfield blocking. The wide receivers have to read the defense because if they're running option routes, meaning they could have a route where it's going straight, or have the option to go here, run a slant, or have the option to go out and run an out route toward the sideline. Okay, so all 11 guys are reading the defense. It's not just the quarterback. Okay, secondly, the quarterback cannot do anything if no one blocks for him. If the running back doesn't chip the free rusher coming in, if the linemen don't pick up their assignments on time and execute, okay, if the wide receivers don't read the defense fast enough and get open or present at least an open look to the quarterback, all these things are factors that determine a quarterback's success. But I know it's all about marketing, it's all about money. I understand that. But I feel like these announcers and these media pundits have gone too far the other way. And to me, the catcher position in baseball is the hardest position in professional sports. I'm going to say this again. The catcher position in baseball is the hardest position to play. And I'll get into that in another video. But those who are into baseball will have some idea what I'm talking about. Those who are knowledgeable about baseball. Okay? My uncle used to tell me when I was a kid, hey, listen, young man, the fastest way to the major leagues is playing the catcher position. And I didn't really know what he was talking about until I got older and I saw. If you can control the field from the catcher position and you can hit, you got a stick. There's no way that they can deny you into the major leagues. Okay, because that's a rarity. A catcher that can control the game, that's great defensively, can throw out base runners and can hit. Okay, and can manage pitchers, because a catcher is like a manager on the field. But I digress. This is a football topic. Okay, back to the quarterback position. I'm going to read off some stats here. All right, I looked up, and this is from Pro Football Reference, okay? These are pure stats, so this is not opinion oriented, okay? I went back. I'm not going to go back from 1965 downward because we know that the game was dominated by runners during the 60s and 50s and all of that. But let's just go from 1966 to 1981, right? During that time period, there were no 5,000-yard passers from 1966 to 1981. The closest was Dan Fouts in 1980 and 1981, where he threw for 4,700 yards and 4,800 yards, respectively. Okay. The only one close to that was Dan Fouts again at 4,000 yards, 4,082 yards, and Joe Namath all the way back in 67 with 4,007 yards. Okay, so once again, from 1966 to 1981, there were no 5,000-yard passers. Okay, and I'm going to get into the reasons why. From 1982 to 2001, okay, we have one 5,000-yard passer. That's Dan Marino in 1984, the great Dan Marino in 1984, who was often overlooked, and I'm going to do a Dan Marino video. In 1984, he threw for 5,084 yards. Do you know what an accomplishment that was to throw for 5,000 yards in 1984 when you had monsters like Richard Dent and Lawrence Taylor and all these guys flying around? Reggie, what's his name? God, you know, a defensive end who played for the Philadelphia Eagles, and then he went on to the Packers. Preacher Reggie, I forget his name. Bruce Smith, Reggie White. Okay, Bruce Smith, Dexter Manley from the Washington Redskins, now the Washington football team. Okay, when you have monsters like that roaming around, there was no sitting in the pocket, you know, looking for, you know, throwing the pass, passing 50 times a game in that era. The quarterback would get smashed. Okay, that was the reason why. So once again, from 1982 to 2001, there was only one 5,000-yard passer, and that's Dan Marino in 1984. I believe that year Dan Marino went to the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. You guys can correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. Okay? The only other person close to that, once again, in this time period, from 1982 to 2001, was Kurt Warner in 2001, okay, with 4,830 yards. Okay, now, we go from 2002 to 2020. Let's see how many 5,000-yard passers we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Including Jameis Winston in 2019 for the Succaneers, for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Skip Bayless calls them the Succaneers. All right? Jameis Winston threw for 5,100 yards in that Tampa Bay offense in 2019. Okay? So once again, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 5,000-yard passers, 5,000-yard passing seasons from individuals from 2002 to 2020. All right, quickly to rattle off the names who threw for 5,000 yards in this time period. Drew Brees in 2008. Okay, Drew Brees again in 2011. Drew Brees again in 2012. Peyton Manning in 2013. Drew Brees again in 2016. Ben Roethlisberger in 2018. And Jameis Winston in 2019. Okay, these are all the 5,000-yard passers in this 18-year period between 2002 and 2020. Now, why is that? Why all of a sudden, in the last 18 years, we have 8 5,000-yard passers, where in the previous 18-year period before that, we only had one. Okay, and that was Dan Marino. Why the jump? Because of the rule changes. You can't hit the quarterback helmet to helmet. You can't even hit the quarterback above the shoulders. You can't, when you go to sack the quarterback or tackle the quarterback, you can't land on the quarterback. All of this means you can't intimidate the quarterback. That's a big part of football and a big part of sports. Mental warfare and physical intimidation. Mental intimidation. Okay, now guys can just talk to the quarterback, but they can't physically intimidate the quarterback anymore. Okay, I remember my favorite team, the 49ers, growing up, Joe Montana used to get smashed by Lawrence Taylor and them boys. You don't think Joe Montana will be lighting up the league right now with touchdown passes and yards if you couldn't touch him? If you could barely lay a paw on the guy? Okay? Imagine how many yards and touchdowns Dan Marino would go for today in today's modern era. Okay? And this is the reason why. Also with the receivers, once again, no helmet to helmet. You cannot lead with your shoulder. No, I think you cannot lead with your helmet, right? And something like you cannot lead with your shoulder above the chest. Anyway, they changed the defense so that when you play defense now, you basically have to take out the legs of the opposing offensive player, which is bad. They did all of this because of CTE. And if you guys don't know what CTE, the brain disease that comes from trauma of concussions and high-speed collisions, whether you're in a car accident or you're playing a football or hockey, you can look that up. They even made a whole movie about it starring, I believe, Will Smith. Okay? Yeah. So you can't hit the wide receiver, which means the wide receivers have free run over the middle. They're not afraid to catch 12 slant passes a game now over the middle, because before they were getting killed. How you think guys like Steve Atwater, Ronnie Lott, and a few other hard-hitting safeties made a name for themselves back in the day, made a Hall of Fame career for themselves? Ronnie Lott would not be a Hall of Famer in today's game. For that reason alone, his pure game, not that he couldn't cover receivers in coverage, but that wasn't necessarily his strong suit. His strong suit was coming up, banging the run, and banging wide receivers over the middle. You didn't want to go over the middle with Ronnie Lott. Tight ends, there wasn't all this throwing to tight ends over the middle in the 80s, okay, and the 90s. Why? Because the safeties would smack the hell out of them coming over the middle. Damn near kill them. Okay, I remember Jerry Rice caught a touchdown in Enzo. They hit him so hard, I don't know how he held on to the ball. Okay? This is why Jerry Rice will never be surpassed as the greatest wide receiver in history, because he played during the time of intimidation where you had to be a man to go over the middle. You had to have a quarterback you trusted not to throw that ball too high and leave you strung out to get you paralyzed or injured or concussed, which happened very often in the 80s, 90s, and the 70s. Okay, and this is the reason why the quarterback position was not as glorious in the 70s and 80s. It was more the running back was the star of the show. Why? Because you wasn't dropping your quarterback back 45, 50 times a game then. You would get him killed. You was hand the ball off 35 to 40 times a game, and you would pass the ball 20 to 30 times a game, typically. Maybe 40 on a good day, but definitely not 50, 60 dropbacks. That was not happening. You get your quarterback killed. Even the best quarterbacks with the best offensive line was not doing that, with the exception of Dan Marino, once again, because they built the whole team around the passing game. They drafted great offensive linemen to protect him, and the schemes that they drew, he had a quick release, quick trigger. Dan Marino got the ball out in 3 seconds or less. All right? Now, all of this being said, my favorite quarterback of all time is still Peyton Manning, because the way he controlled the line of scrimmage with audibles and the way he read the defense, pointed out assignments, all the histrionics he did at the line, it was poetry in motion to me. Have experience at the quarterback position. I argued with my coach in high school that I wanted to run the no-huddle K-gun offense, just like Jim Kelly and the Buffalo Bills, and he laughed at me, gave me the playbook, and said, practice them options. That's all we did. Hand the ball over, or the quarterback would run with the option, flip it toward the back or the wide receiver. There were maybe 15 to 20 at best passing plays in the high school. That's why after a while I didn't want to play quarterback no more. I switched to defensive end. I was like, I don't want to play quarterback to hand the ball off. So he said, well, I was playing both sides of the ball anyway, so I just played defensive end, and they had me play offensive guard too when I said I didn't want to play quarterback no more. All right, because if I couldn't throw touchdown passes, I didn't have an opportunity, I didn't want to play. So anyway, enough about me. All right, this is the reason why quarterbacks have free reign to drop back 40, 50 times a game. They're slinging the ball all over the field without no fear of repercussion because the intimidation factor is gone in the NFL. All right, and I'm sorry for the language, but the NFL now, American football, is a pussy game now. Okay, college football is a pussy game now. High school football it's a pussy game still. The rule changes across the board because they start in high school. They start grooming them up preparing them for the rule changes that go across the board from college to the pros. Okay, and now thus you have the overhyped quarterback position, which is totally dependent on everyone else on the offense to be successful, but they don't point that out. I'm not taking anything away from Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, none of these guys. All right. Would Patrick Mahomes be successful in any era? I believe so. The same thing about Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and so on. Ben Roethlisberger, so on and so forth. Deshaun Watson, but not to this extent. Not to this extent where they just free reign slinging the ball all over the field all damn game long. Okay? You would get your quarterback hurt. Okay? You get your quarterback hurt. They changed the rules soon as Tom Brady had that knee injury like 10 years ago. And he got hurt in like the first or second game of the season. This was after they went 18-1. They almost had the perfect record and lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl. The following year after that, I think he got hurt the first or second game into the season. A lineman flew in, hit him right below the knee. They changed the rules. You can't hit the quarterback in the knees. You can't hit him in the head. You can't hit him in the chest. Where the fuck can you hit him then? You tell me. Where the fuck can you hit the quarterback at? And then they want to act like the quarterback now is the greatest thing since sliced bread. Yeah, there's talented guys, but let's take this into context. The context is they're playing with rules to benefit them, slinging the ball all around the field so that they can market them better. Right? They went from marketing the running back and the defensive players when it was a tough man's game, right? And even the linemen. So now it's all the quarterback. All the quarterback. That's all you hear. Every time they promote a game, even if the quarterback sucks, they're going to talk about him more than they talk about the defensive player or the star running back or star receiver. So I see this is going on 20 minutes. I know that y'all have short attention spans, man. I wanted to throw this up. I'm going to do a couple follow-up American football videos, because I grew up playing football. I'm not just into basketball, and I'll eventually do some baseball stuff. But, once again, guys, the quarterback position is the most overrated position in sports. I'm going to say this again. And this is from playing offensive line, me, in high school, playing quarterback, playing defensive end. Okay? I know what it takes to be successful on a football field. All 11 guys working together. Okay? And the coach making adjustments during the game. Okay? But it's an overhyped, overrated position, guys. I'm sorry. It just is. I'm not taking away anything from Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes ahead of this Super Bowl coming this Sunday. But yeah, would have Tom Brady been able to play all of these years, throwing all these yards and touchdowns if he were playing in the 80s and early 90s? I don't think so. Was Tom Brady better than Jim Kelly from the Buffalo Bills? Even though Jim Kelly never won a Super Bowl, I don't think so. Was he better than Warren Moon? I don't think so. Is he better than Dan Marino? I don't think so. I can go on and on. Is he better than Joe Montana? I don't. And I'm not taking nothing away from Tom Brady. Drew Brees, in particularly, Tom Brady, my boy Peyton Manning, Roethlisberger and a few others have greatly benefited from the rule changes, which freed up the field for guys to run all over the place catching the ball. And by the way, before I end this topic, it's a lot harder to catch passes than throw them. I'm going to say this again. It's a lot harder to catch passes, tiptoe the sideline, make these one-handed grabs when you know you're going to get smacked. Okay? It's a lot tougher to do that. And you sprinting all game. Every time they say hut, whether the ball is coming to you or not, you a wide receiver, you're sprinting all game. Sprint, 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 sprint. Okay? It's a lot harder to catch the ball than throw it. And this is from somebody who played quarterback. Yeah, you can make beautiful throws, but once you release the ball, that's it. It's up to your guy to go get it. Okay? You can lose the ball in the lights. It could be windy. The quarterback might not have the tightest spiral. There's a number of factors that a receiver, tight end, running back coming out the backfield have to deal with catching passes. Okay? That's why I say the quarterback position is highly overrated. Now, that being said, do you need a great quarterback to win? No, you don't. Look at that Ravens squad. I think it was the 0-2 Ravens. Ray Lewis was clearly the best player on that team at middle linebacker and carried Dilfer to the Super Bowl. Okay, Trent Dilfer was an average quarterback. He was a game manager. Okay, was he tough? Yeah. Was he smart? I'm sure he was. He won the Super Bowl. He was smart to hand that ball off and let the defense do their thing, baby. Their thing was about time of possession. Run the ball and let the defense keep the score low. We might never see a team like the Ravens again. Why? Because they understood that offense entertains, but defense wins the games. So once again, guys, I'm going to sign out here, man. This was another rant where I was passionate about. Sorry about the long video. But once again, you can debate me in the comment section. I'm with it. Once again, the quarterback position is the most overrated, overhyped position in sports. Rant Roller out.